present in the hearing board members' chambers and two individuals that are online, I'd like to ask Mr. Pearman, Mr. Pearman and Dr. Abraham, if in fact you've properly posted your meetings pursuant to the Brown Act?
I have, sir.
That's correct. Thank you.
And are any individuals present in the room respectively with you?
No one here.
No.
Okay, very well. And so if in fact any individuals do appear, we would allow them the same opportunity to redress the hearing board as well as ask any questions pursuant to the code. All right, so who do we have representing the petitioner?
Good morning. This is Truck Moore, County Counsel for the LA Ricks Authority.
Last name is Moore, M-O-O-R-E?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Riyad El Masri, Project Manager for the PMCM.
Spell your name, please.
RIAD, last name ELMASRI. Project Manager.
Okay, and sir?
Good morning. My name's Ted Pao, P-A-O. I'm with Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, assigned to LA Ricks as technical lead.
Okay, and who's representing the petitioner? Oh, I'm sorry, the respondent.
Good morning, this is John Jones on behalf of the Executive Officer.
Okay, Mr. Jones, all right. So will we call any witnesses today?
Yes, sir. I have two folks to my left that will be our witnesses today, and they've introduced themselves for the record already.
Okay, and so do we have any exhibits?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay, so why don't we mark those exhibits this morning?
Okay. Do we have copies that have been provided to everyone?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic.
Okay, so Madam Clerk, just so we can move along, we have the
Marking the whole thing as one exhibit?
yes. Okay. That's the document with the picture.
That's-
exhibit number one. Okay, and then we have the interim emergency variance conditions. We're going to mark as A. Okay, any additional exhibits, Madam Clerk? Okay. All right, so why don't we go ahead and why don't we administer the oath? What folks would stand? All right, please, right hand. Oh, we have some witnesses on the respondent side as well. All right. And so in the matter that's before us, you're raising your hand to take the oath that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth with respect to your abilities and knowledge of this case. In agreement? All right, we're good to go. Thank you very kindly. Okay. Ms. Moore, opening.
Wonderful. Good morning, members of the board. I'm sorry, I wonder if I'm leaning too close to this. There we go. I'll speak loudly. Good morning. Thank you for hearing our petition for an interim variance. We believe that good cause exists for you to get to the merits portions of the hearing. We are an important public safety system. The LA Ricks Authority is an important public safety system, and the way that our sites are built, we have backup generators, and when power goes down, the backup generators are kicking in and working, and as a result of it kicking in and working as designed, we are in violation of section 41701. We are over the 200-hour limit on the generator. We could not reasonably avoid violating this rule, and we've filed in time to have this heard. And then separately, we did exercise diligence and petitioning for the variance at the time that we filed. We had not exceeded 200 hours yet, but we have since done that.
All right. Mr. Jones.
Morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. I think under the circumstances, it makes sense to grant the relief, or at least we wouldn't oppose it. It really wasn't under their control, particularly with the fires, as we've all had to experience. And so the executive officer would not oppose the finding of good cause here.
All right, Ms. Moore, would you like to call your first witness?
Yes, thank you so much. I'd like to call Ted Powell. Mr. Powell, can you please describe to the board what the LA RICS LMR system is and what it does for the region?
Yes, LRICS is a public safety communication system utilized by public safety agency in Los Angeles County. For example, the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, Los Angeles County Fire Department, and other law and fire agencies. And it plays a very important role for the community as it protects live property for the community. During Eaton Fire, this is the backbone of the communication tools for the first responders. They rely heavily on LRICS to mitigate fires at Eaton Fire and Palisade Fire. So we also provide the National Guard with their communication need when they deploy to LA to help with the fire and security of the fire impacted areas. The Sunset Ridge side provides the coverage for the East San Gabriel Valley area of the Los Angeles, and also into San Bernardino and Riverside, Orange County for day-to-day operation on the Metrolink for sheriff security operation. Also looks into Mount Baldy and Angeles National Forest for public safety use and search and rescue. As we know, Mount Baldy do have many incidents for search and rescue in that area. And this generator also is connected to San Bernardino County public safety radio system. They use that for their same thing in Mount Baldy for their public safety operation. So this is an important size for both LA County and San Bernardino County for the safety of the public.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Mr. Masri, I have a question for you. Can you describe to the board what the nature of the ownership of the site is, and then how we learned about the loss of commercial power at the site?
Yeah, so LRICS is submetering from Lieberman Broadcasting, Inc. You can see on the second page of Exhibit 1, we received the email from Chris Buchanan, who is in charge of Lieberman Broadcasting, advising us about the public safety power shutoff that happened on January 7th. So this tells you how we get communication about status of the electric meter, because it's not owned by us. We cannot reach direct to SCE for information. On the second page, you know that we learned about power outage through our monitoring system. At 6:48 a.m., we lost power on February 5th. On 6:50, we reached out to SCE website, and we pulled this repair outage report that indicates that SCE is expecting to bring us power back by 7:48. So we immediately tried to get on top of it and try to, if SCE is not aware of the power outage normally, we call Chris Buchanan, the owner of the meter, and we ask him to reach out to SCE and open a service ticket, just to make sure that the utility company is aware of the outage. And this indicates that they are aware of it and they are planning to restore power as estimated restoration, like 7:48 a.m., which unfortunately didn't happen. Then on February 10th, we reached out to, again, through their website. Because we have the meter number, we can plug in the meter number and check status of outage without going to the meter owner through SCE website. And on February 2nd, they told us estimated restoration will be February 14. And going forward, March 2nd and through March 10 yesterday, unfortunately, the estimated restoration is still not available. Now, during receiving emails, thread of emails from, there are 29 users that's suffering from this power outage, including Lieberman and LRX. And they share information via emails. And through these emails, we learned that SCE has two problems. The first problem is both has to do with access to their equipment. One of their poles that they believe the damage is very remote and they couldn't reach out to this pole location. Another issue is they have a vault connecting to this connected to these lines, and this vault is located right underneath a tower that unfortunately is falling apart, and it's unsafe for SCE crew to go and work underneath this tower. You can see on the last page of this exhibit the picture of the tower and the circle for the SCE equipment right behind it. The tower owner is trying to have fix the road enough for the cranes to move in and clear the parts of the falling tower so that SCE can move in and check their equipment. SCE on their side, they at one time, and I think in February 19, they offered that they are thinking about bringing a generator that would power the 29 users at that location. But they had issues with FAA not letting them bring in this generator by air. And another issue, the road condition, it will not support a trailer that would carry a generator that big to that area. So unfortunately, so far, the information we have from SCE through many resources that they have no clue what's wrong with their equipment.
Thank you very much. Does the district have any questions for our
Yes,
witness?
on cross. Mr. Jones,
No questions at this time.
thank you very kindly. Members of the hearing board?
I just want to make clear, Ms. Moore, you're doing the first phase, which is the good cause for the because this is an interim variance bifurcated, as you're aware, so we have to make those 4 findings.
Yes, yes.
So
And right, and I thought that, well, that's fine. I thought we had stipulated to the merits, to the good cause portion already, but that's fine. Yes.
okay, so I had some questions related to that. It's like, and which is whether, and I think you say with diligent filing. So if somebody can provide some testimony when you file them,
Absolutely.
Regarding that.
Brianna, could you please explain to the board when we filed and what the number of hours of our generator runtime was and what it is now?
Yeah, so I have a log for 2025 included in this exhibit. As you can see on January 6th, we had only 25 minutes on the generator. Then on January 7th, we got the PSPS event and we called AQMD and we got notification number just to have credit on these hours. So the 68 hours was related to the PSPS event. We got approval on our emergency or ex parte, I think on February 20th. I don't have the date. We submitted the variance, but February 13th. Thank you. So yeah, we submitted on February 13th. And excluding the 68 hours, I think we were around 140, 150 hours on the generator.
Thank you. And then as of yesterday afternoon, how many hours have we run on the generator?
As of yesterday at 4:30 p.m., we were at 871, and by now we should be around 890.
Thank you. And this is to confirm, we have not, SE has not restored commercial power to this site. Is that correct?
Correct, and they have no idea when, there's no estimated restoration time.
Thank you.
Any additional questions, Ms. Verdugo Peralta?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In regards to your petition and communication with AQMD, were you ever asked to present on a separate document the actual dates, like an laundry list, if you will? Because that's part of, even though you describe it in 15 for an interim variance, we do request that there be some type of a list of the dates of the occurrences. Was that communicated to you at any point?
No, we voluntarily provided this, and we also provided 2024 and 2023 log. You can see that we never exceeded like 40 hours.
I understand that, but there's, with an interim variance, there's supposed to be a separate document that has specific dates, what occurred on that date, and just like I said, a laundry list. And even though you have it in 15, it's in the narrative. So in the future, if you can just remember to
Absolutely.
list that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? All right, to your next witness.
That's all I
Okay.
have. Thank you.
Okay, very well. Mr. Jones?
The district has no plans to call any witnesses, but we do have staff available
Okay.
if the board has questions.
Not a problem at all. All right, we're gonna move to this particular phase, closing.
Okay, fantastic. So am I clear to go to the merits portion of the hearing now?
No.
Okay.
We're still establishing the good cause. Do you have the document?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, so if you perhaps just kind of walk through that plan there.
So we do want to establish that good cause is that good cause can be found because, without this variance, we would be in violation of section 41701. As the witnesses indicated, as of today, we're at 871 hours on our generator. In prior years, we've never even exceeded 200 because we've never had an issue with loss of power. Then we'd like to state that due to conditions beyond the reasonable control of us, because we are not the commercial power provider at the site and we are reliant on the commercial power provider, there's not really anything that we could do except to run the generator to make sure that the public safety system is operational. And so to take it down would require shut off the generator, would take our system down at that site and eliminate our ability to be able to provide public safety communications to the region and our first responders. Additionally, I think there would not be a corresponding benefit if that were to occur because it increases the risk of issues for the public if that site is not available for our first responders. With respect to D, we've given consideration to whether we can curtail our operations. Of course, once commercial power is restored to the site, the backup generator would go off and would not go on again unless we lost power again. And when we do agree that while the variance is in effect, that we will reduce excess emissions to the maximum extent feasible. And then lastly, during the period for the variance in effect, that we would clearly monitor and quantify emissions at that source, and we'd be able to do the calculations and submit it to the board as required.
All right. Mr. Jones?
Simply incorporate what the executive officer stated previously. I think under the circumstances, especially given lack of access and the timeliness with which they got into contact with us, I think that good cause is met here. And so we would not oppose the finding of that.
Okay. Members of the hearing board, Mr. Balakapalan?
Yes, I do believe we can, at least I can find good cause to proceed to the merit of the hearing. They are clearly in violation of the permit condition. They exceeded the 200 hours under 203B. That can be heard. Circumstance leading to the violation could not have been avoided. The fire plus the winds plus then SC outage. So, and they were diligent when they filed on 213. They were still below the 200 hours. They're close to 200, but 177 hours. But and so they did file for ex parte and interim and regular variance. So they were diligent in filing, and the denial of the variance would have an adverse impact on the petitioner and all the community that and the first responders that depend on the tower working properly. So I can find good cause to proceed to the merit of the interim variance.
Any other comments? Ms. Verdugo Peralta?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also agree that I can find good cause due to the fact that the occurrence was no fault of the petitioners and the fact that it was another party that was responsible and that they don't have control over that. And this was a situation that ended up being a catastrophic issue. And this, of course, the fact that they provide the communication to public safety in regards to communication. So I also can find good cause. Thank you.
All right, is there a motion laid upon the table?
I could make
Go right ahead, Mr. Balakapalan.
in the matter of LARICS, the LA's regional interoperable communication system joint powers. Case number 6234-5 moved that find good cause to proceed to the merits of the hearing without notice to the public.
Is your mic on, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, why don't you do it one more time?
I will do that again one more time. Now I'll read from my script, so I'm not messing up anything.
She said that's just practice.
Okay, in the matter of, LARICS Authority, case number 6234-5, I move that they will find good cause to proceed to a hearing for an interim in absence of notice to the public based on our discussion and ability to make the findings for good cause.
Chairman
Second.
seconds. Oh,
All right, let the
Dr.
record
Brittany
reflect.
too.
Mr. Balakapalan moved the motion and Dr. Abraham seconded the motion. Oh, Mr. Pyramid seconded the motion, okay. Very well. Any further question or discussions on the motion? Hearing none. Dr. Abraham?
Aye.
Ms. Verdugo Peralta?
Aye.
Mr. Balakapalan?
Aye.
Mr. Pyramid?
Aye.
And all the votes in the affirmative, the matter is hereby approved unanimously. We'll move to the next phase. And so we'll ensure that we incorporate all of the testimony that was proffered in this phase into the next, as well as evidence and exhibits. So we're going to open up the floor for a very brief opening from our good friend, Ms. Moore.
Yes, thank you so much, members of the board. LARICS urges that you find at the merits hearing that a variance can be granted for us. As we discussed in our initial good cause hearing, we believe that all 6 can be found. We're a public safety system and we are currently in violation because we've lost commercial power to the site. And as a result, we are in violation of section 41701 because we are over 200 hours. and the conditions are indeed beyond our control. We are not the provider of commercial power at the site. It's the responsibility lies with SCE, and we are at their power to fix their equipment and turn back on commercial power at the site. I think if we were to force to be turned down the site at that system and turn off our generator, there would not be a corresponding benefit to the public, given the importance of the public safety system at that site. We've given a consideration to curtailing our operations. And of course, once the commercial power is restored, we would absolutely be turning the generator off because it only comes in when we lack commercial power. And of course, during the period in effect, when the variance is in effect, we will do everything we can to reduce excess emissions. And then during the variance period, we will quantify our emissions and do our regular reporting to the board. We urge that you please find merits have been established and you grant the variance so that it can be calendared for the regular meeting.
Good friend, Mr. Jones.
Again, good morning, Mr. Chair and the board members. We'll repeat what we've said before, but I'd also like to point out that it's not merely an issue of not being a corresponding benefit, but rather there would actually be a harm in not granting the relief. And so, particularly for that reason, the executive officer would not oppose relief in this case.
Ms. Moore, did you? Well, I guess the question would be, we've heard the testimony. Is there any additional testimony within this phase that was not initially discussed? Because we've moved that testimony over.
Nothing additional, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Jones?
Nothing additional unless the board has questions for our
Okay.
staff.
Members of the hearing board?
I do have a couple of
Not a
questions for
problem.
Mr. Masri.
No problem.
The engine generator is working fine. There's only the Edison equipment that is failing, correct?
Correct.
So, okay. And then who does I noticed somebody did the excess emission calculation and just wanted to point out, who did that? Do you know, in the petition, the excess emission calculation? Oh, okay. So, okay, I just want to point out, and maybe when you come to the regular variance, you granted the interim variance, that you have to differentiate between the NOx and the hydrocarbons. It's right now combined. And had a question regarding, and you have the permit proposed condition, variance condition in front of you?
Yes, we do.
You do, okay. So I was proposing that we change, since you're already over the 200 hours, you may be operating the engine anytime, and propose that the fees be paid actually next year, something in end of January 2026. Is that going to be an issue?
Yes, we could stipulate to that, but I did want to add for the record that we will be requesting a fee waiver given that a state of emergency was declared by the governor.
Okay, well, after this, when we finish, okay, you're going to do the next portion of it. Okay, I just also wanted to point out the Exhibit A, it says interim emergency, should just say interim variance condition, and that's, and strike out the word emergency from there in Exhibit A.
Thank you. We're fine with that change, proposed change.
All right, I got no further questions. I'll await to see your request for waiver of the fees.
All right, let's let the record reflect that Mr. Balakapalan requested that in Exhibit A, the term emergency be stricken and on, is that what you're referencing?
Yes, Exhibit A in the heading,
Heading.
it says interim emergency, so it should just say interim variance
And
condition.
Mr. Jones said that he did not object. So I want that to be clear that the district is not objecting to the request by Mr. Balakapalan to strike said language. Mr. Balakapalan.
I'm sorry, what did you ask, Madam Clerk? Well, I think condition number 3 may change if we waive the fee. She's going to, Ms. Moore is going to request a waiver fees on the declaration of emergency. So that condition can be taken out because if we waive the fees. I'm sorry, they'll still have to report it, just paying the fees. So the condition will have to be modified accordingly.
So can we take the condition out, Mr. Jones, or any objections?
No objection, especially given that the state of emergency was actually declared, so it's not going to be in dispute.
Okay, so we'll essentially have 3 exhibits with 4 becoming 3. All right, any additional comments or questions from the board? Ms. Verdugo-Prout?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Have you received an update from SCE as to, through your other party, when they estimate that they're going to get to that at all?
Again, they're still waiting on access to the vault right next to the damaged tower because it's unsafe now for them. So, and the weather is not helping. The tower owner is trying to bring cranes to the site, but with the road conditions, he just can't now.
Yeah, I understand that normally a vault, even whether it's bad weather or another catastrophic event, vaults are dangerous as they are anyway. So I totally understand that, and I just wanted to know if they had given any notice because it's going to be a while. I think everybody knows that it's going to be quite a while before they get to fixing the equipment, fixing the tower. That's a long haul. So I do understand that.
Yeah, and the current objective is just to remove the loose parts of the tower so that someone can walk underneath it. The
Well, they
tower
have
will
to,
remain for now, yeah.
they not only have to remove it, but they have to stabilize it so that there's no
Correct.
issue of it coming back down. So, but that was the only question that I really had. Other than that, I do feel that there is, we can make the 6 findings for the request for the interim variance based on the fact that it is an emergency stop that was declared by the governor, number 1, and number 2, the fact that you are providing a public service that is critical to that area. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
If I may add, we currently run 25 minutes every week on the generator, a weekly test, and we asked to reprogram our automatic transfer switch to have this 25 minutes every other week going forward once we get power back. This is to reduce again generator use.
All right, any additional comments or questions from the board? Or is there a motion laid up on the table?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chair.
Go right ahead, Ms. Verdugo-Prout.
Okay. All right, in the matter of SCE versus LA Regional Interoperational Communications System Joint Powers Authority, known as LA RICS Authority, I move that we grant the interim variance. The location is 8675 016-3007 Angeles National Forest in Claremont, California, 91711. I think the fact that that has been made and declared by their witnesses that it's not only a state of emergency for their facility, but that whole region, and the fact that they are providing a public service to that region, that we go ahead and we grant that variance. What else did you need?
Is there a second?
I was going to say, you didn't cite the rules or anything like that. I want to amend, saying that
Yes, to amend
saying commencing
Exhibit A.
today and continuing through for 90 days,
yes,
which includes the date of the ex parte date granted. And so it's ending in 90 days or until a notice hearing, which is currently scheduled for April 23rd, whichever comes first.
correct. Thank you,
It's from
Mr.
Rule 203B permit condition at for G permit number G63683, the IC engine as described in the permit. And I believe it's condition number, let me see what condition number that is, real quick. Condition number 4 for that permit.
Thank you, Mr. Palakaplan. I appreciate that. And that on the interim variance conditions that we will be eliminating number 3, as agreed upon by both parties.
All right.
Well, I think that is pending the approval of the waiver of the fee. We haven't heard that request yet for the waiver of the fee. So I think,
But we did eliminate number 3 off of the conditions, did we not?
Yes.
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 All right.
Just a question, and so there's a motion, and is there a second? Just to be very
Second.
clear. Okay, Dr. Abraham seconds the motion. Any way we can move that hearing to the 22nd?
We are fine with moving the hearing to the 22nd, but we did, if this were to pass, we did want to ask the board and the district to consider having it placed on consent, if that's possible.
Not a problem with any of us.
Okay, yes,
No debate here.
okay.
Mr. Jones is ecstatic.
No argument at all.
Great.
So we're gonna get the 23rd is a Wednesday, the 22nd would be a Tuesday. Okay, so we,
Reminder, that's gonna be the only thing on that day. And then on the 23rd, we're gonna have two other ones, right?
be two other hearings on the 23rd. Well, then if they're, okay, if we're gonna go consent, then we'll just keep it the 23rd. Okay, very well. Then we'll keep it the 23rd. If we're gonna go consent, April 23rd, then that way, if you both would agree, so it only would come to consent if you agreed. So we'll keep it the 23rd.
Yes, that would
Alright.
be great. Yes,
Okay.
thank you for stipulating to it being on consent.
All right. Okay, it's been properly moved and second by Ms. Verdugo Peralta on the initial motion, and then the second by Dr. Abraham. Any further question or discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Dr. Abraham?
Aye.
Ms. Verdugo Peralta?
Aye.
Mr. Balakapalan?
Aye, and I just want to qualify that it's contingent of the removal of 3 based on whether we waive the fees or not.
Yes, yes. That's so noted, and I do believe that both the respondent and petitioner are in agreement. And Mr. Perriman?
Aye.
I'll lay in the affirmative. The matter is hereby approved unanimously, and we will see you on,
Chair, I do believe she has to make that
Oh,
request.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. So I was going to say thank you so much for granting the interim variance, and thank you so much for agreeing that it'll be on consent. At this time, we did want to submit our request for a fee waiver. The governor did declare and sign into a state of emergency on January 7, 2025, related to the fires and windstorm events, which had an impact on the area and the reason why we lost service. So we'd like to submit that. Do you need a copy of it, or is it fine that I read the emergency declaration into the record?
No, we need a copy.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
We'll mark that as exhibit number 2. Exhibit 2.
And have we provided you a copy? Okay, do we have we have an extra copy. That's correct. There you go.
No, that we have to, yeah.
Okay,
No, the 2501 was just the district. This is from the governor.
I know that, but it's still.
Referred to it, yeah.
okay.
So there's a request placed upon the floor. Is there a motion to accept and approve the fee waiver?
I'll
Motion.
make the motion that we, provided there's no objection from the district, that we approve the fee waiver pursuant to the emergency declaration by the governor, state of California, and also pursuant to Rule 303P, which waives any fees if there's a declaration of emergency by a state or federal authority.
And Dr. Abraham seconds.
Okay.
I'll go out of Ms. Verdugo Prada seconds. I'll go out of okay, very well. Just wanted to be clear that Mr. Jones has no objections to this request.
No, the district has no objection.
Thank you very kindly, Dr. Abraham second, and Ms. Verdugo Prada on question. Floor is yours, ma'am.
Not so much a question versus a statement that we also include AQMD's document of the executive order from the executive officer 25-01 and 25-01A. That's all. Which talks about the emergency
Okay, and we're gonna submit that as, that'll be hearing board exhibit. Okay, that'll be HB one. Yeah, that'll be HB one. All right. Dr. Abraham, your vote.
Aye.
Ms. Redugo Prata,
Aye.
Mr. Balakapalan,
Aye.
Mr. Pearman.
Aye.
Holly votes in the affirmative. That motion has hereby been approved unanimously. And we look forward to seeing you phenomenal folk. Actually, we don't look forward to seeing you. We look
You'll
forward
see
to
us on
receiving-
consent.
There we go. All right. We're off the record at 11:12 a.m. and this hearing is adjourned.
Thank you so much, members of the board.
Thank you.